The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's libsyn.com.
Welcome to the Old Time Radio Network Detective Stories, continuing America's love affair with private eyes. We now go back to the early days of radio and our imaginations with our feature presentation.
Now for this week's episode of Bulldog Drummond.
Out of the fog, out of the night, and into his American adventures comes Bulldog Drummond.
Once a year, there comes into every man's life, even a detective's, the time when he recaptures the spirit of his boyhood.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! This way to the main entrance to the big top.
This is the time when the greatest show on earth, the circus, has come to town. In the magic wonderland of a sawdust earth and a canvas sky, the years roll back to the springtime of life. And thus it was that Denny and I were on the midway, headed for the big top. We came to the circus in our yearly search for the thrills of lost youth. But we found murder.
Captain Drummond, just a moment, please.
What now, Denny?
That popcorn stand over there, we still have ample time for the main show.
Again. Denny, you're worse than a child. 3 hot dogs, 2 ice cream cones, 4 bags of peanuts.
Only 2 bags for myself, sir. I shared them with the elephants.
Very well, 2 bags of peanuts. And now popcorn. Denny, you'll get sick just like a child who overeats during his day at the circus.
Oh, good, sir. Then I'll feel like a child again.
Oh, well, what's the use? Very well, popcorn it'll be.
Now, really, sir. Oh, I say.
I'm sorry.
Well, young lady, I suggest that you watch where you're going. You nearly knocked me.
I'm sorry.
Apparently, this is your pocketbook.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Come along, Denny.
Just a minute, please.
Yes?
Would you do me a favor?
What?
A very special favor. Terribly important.
Why do you keep looking around?
Please don't ask me questions now. Just put your arms around me quickly.
What?
Now, look here, young
Put
lady.
your arms around me. He's coming this way. Please, please.
All right. Like this?
Yes.
Really, sir.
Hold me closer. Here he comes.
Closer?
Yes, please. He mustn't see me.
Like this?
Yes.
Be careful, sir. She
You
might...
can trust me, honestly. It'll only be for a moment.
Frankly, it's a rather pleasant moment.
Captain Drummond, to say the least, this is quite unusual.
To say the least, it is, Denny. It is. Am I holding you too tightly, Miss...
No.
I didn't get your name.
Please, you mustn't ask me questions.
I warn you, sir, she's up to something.
He's gone. You can let me go now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I was carried away with my work.
I don't know how to thank you. Perhaps I could pay you for your trouble.
Oh, no, thank you. The pleasure was mine.
You've been very kind. Goodbye.
Oh, she's running off, sir. Quick, we must follow her.
No, just a minute,
But,
Denny.
sir, she may have...
She may have what?
Well, I don't know, but a young lady just doesn't ask a stranger to embrace her unless she's up to something.
Or in trouble, which is apparently the case in which Miss X has found herself.
Oh, and now she's disappeared into the crowd and we know nothing about her.
Perhaps we can find out something.
How? By looking for the needle in the haystack?
No, Denny, by looking for the man who pursued Miss X through the crowd here.
And where do you expect to find him?
About 20 feet from the spot where we're standing.
What?
Come along. He's right over there, still looking for Miss X. There, you see, that circus attendant? He's the one.
How do you know, sir?
Because our young lady in distress fairly shuddered in my arms when he passed by. Now, I'll do the talking, Denny.
Yes, sir.
Pardon me?
Yeah?
Are you looking for someone?
What's it to you?
I can help you.
Go on, beat it.
You're looking for a young lady. I'd say she's about 25, blonde, very attractive.
Say, how do you know?
Knowing things is my business.
Where is she?
Why?
Because it's important.
To whom?
Now listen, I gotta find her and find her quick, so come on, give.
As soon as you tell me why your finding her is so important.
Because, Nosy, that dame is Marion Morris of the Flying Morrises, the star trapeze act in this circus. The act goes on in 15 minutes, and we've been trying to find her. Now tell me, where is she?
I don't know.
What? Say, Bud, what are you giving me?
The last time I saw the young lady, she was headed for the big tent.
Get out of my way. I gotta find that dame before I lose my job.
So, our mysterious Miss X is Marion Morris, Denny.
Of the Flying Morrises. And she certainly had us up in the air.
Quite. But now that we're down to earth again, we're going to look her up.
Good. Frankly, sir, I'm curious as to why she was hiding from that man.
And, Denny, I am especially curious as to this.
Why, sir, it's a gun. Where did you get it?
While I was doing Marion Morris the favor of embracing her, she slipped this revolver into my topcoat pocket. There's their dressing room wagon, Denny.
Oh, the Flying Morrises, continental death-defying aerialists.
Come on.
Oh, why must these things always happen to us? Now we'll miss the main show and all the circus excitement.
We still have 10 minutes. Besides, I have a feeling we're in for some private excitement outside the sawdust rings. Here's the wagon.
Yes?
We're looking for Marion Morris.
What you want?
Oh, it's a personal matter. I should like to see her alone.
She not here. What you want from Marion?
I said it was a personal matter. When did you see her last?
I do not answer strangers' questions.
Well, you'd better answer ours if you know what's good for you. This gentleman is Captain Hugh Drummond.
You are police?
Semi-officially. Now...
Marion would do nothing wrong. She is good girl. I bring her up since time she was so big. I, Santos Gomez, teach her always to do right. Please, you tell me why you here?
First, where is Marion now?
She in main tent with Paul.
Paul?
Yes, her husband and Chris Adams. The three of them. They are the great Flying Morrises. They do their act in 5 minutes. Please, now you tell me what kind of trouble Marion need.
I didn't say she was in trouble. But from the looks of things, she's headed straight for it.
What you mean?
This revolver.
Where? Where you get it?
You recognize it?
I know someday it bring trouble. Gun bring only disaster. I tell him only wicked man have need of gun. I tell him.
This revolver isn't Marion's.
No. Marion is good girl. He make trouble. He have gun to kill. I know.
Come on. Who is he supposed to be? If this revolver isn't Marion's, whose is it?
That gun is his. Her husband, Paul. I tell him gun only make trouble.
Here, give me your hand, Marion. I'll help you up. Come on. That's it.
Chris Adams, the gallant young man on the flying trapeze.
Oh.
I was just being helpful.
You're too helpful, Adams. I don't like it. I told you 100 times, Marion's my
Then
wife.
why don't you treat her decently, as a wife should be?
And I don't like your concern about my manners toward my wife.
Now, listen, you...
Chris, please, not now.
And where were you two before showtime? I know you're sneaking off to meet each other.
That's a lie.
It's no use, Chris. You won't believe anything we say. Let's not argue now.
Why, Mrs. Morris? Do you object to our audience below?
This isn't part of the show.
Can't we wait till later?
There may not be later. One slip from up here and down and out goes one of us. This trio could very easily become a doubles act. I suppose that's occurred to you two many times, how simple it would be to get rid of me.
Oh, stop it.
Very well. Some fool once said the show must go on. But I've often wondered why.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and the hearty Ohio Silver. The Lone Ranger.
Suspended 70 and 80 feet above in midair. I call your attention to the Flying Morrises, the greatest aerial of the century.
This is the legend of a man and a horse, and how they met. The story of the Lone Ranger and his great horse, Silver.
Yes, the flying act of the hit that requires superhuman
Lone Ranger and Tonto were trailing the worst outlaw in the West. His name was Butch Cavendish. They had followed his trail for many weeks, until finally they noticed that the hoof prints of the outlaw's horse were fresh.
Cavendish now.
Yes, Tonto. You
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the unhappy Flying Morrises.
Let's get ready. May I have the rosin bag? My hands are damp.
Of course,
he missed me, but he shot my horse. Get after him.
Sorry. Now, how did that happen?
Paul, you dropped
Tonto's
that
horse
rosin
was
bag
tired and no
Did
match
I?
in speed for the animal Cavendish rode. The outlaw
Never
escaped.
mind, Marion. This towel will
When
do.
Tonto
Let's get
returned
going.
from the futile
Let's
chase,
keep our audience waiting.
he found the Lone Ranger
by the
standing
way,
beside
Chris,
his dead horse.
I'll go
good horse,
first
Tonto.
today.
Loyal,
You'll do my
brave.
routine, including the
But my
double
next
flip.
horse must be
Paul, you
faster.
can't do that to Chris.
I wish that...
I said he'll do the double flip.
Chris hasn't done it in months. He might be killed.
horse, a fiery white stallion.
That's right, Marion,
Him seeing
dear.
your pally over there.
If Chris does that
Cavendish
double
Road.
flip in my
We'll be on the
place,
lookout
he
for the wild
might
horse
be
while we
killed.
follow
Paul,
Cavendish.
you can't do a thing like
Well,
that.
here I go. So long and good luck, Chris.
Don't worry, Marion. I can handle it.
I don't know what
Tonto's
got into
horse
him.
carried the Lone
My
Ranger's
last day with the
saddle, his
act.
saddlebags
Better
and
that way.
bridle, while the
We'll be back
masked
in a
man and
few
the
seconds.
Indian continued
My
on foot
turn
along
now.
the outlaw's trail.
I'll be okay.
When they reached
Here
the
he
top
comes.
of a hill,
Look, Tonto.
they halted suddenly.
All right,
and
Chris,
stared
get in your
at
act.
an awe-inspiring
Here goes nothing.
sight far down in
Your
the
words
valley.
were never spoken.
Paul, you're trying to have
They
Chris
saw a
kill
great
himself.
white stallion in a
Really,
death
Marion,
fight with a
such
giant
concern.
buffalo.
Please,
The
you
horse
must
was
believe it.
plunging,
There's nothing
rearing,
between
charging, and
Chris and
dodging
me.
wildly.
course.
And the sun
And you love
flashed
me,
from his
don't you?
coat as from a
Don't
coat
you
of
love
polished
me?
silver.
How could
They
I?
realized that this was the legendary white stallion,
There's
the
your
one
precious
ranchers
Chris.
and hunters had talked so
Now
much
let's
about.
see how he
Tonto,
comes out on
must
the
have
double
that
flip.
horse. I'll try to shoot the buffalo.
He made it!
I'll
He
get
made it!
Yes.
As he ran downhill, the Lone Ranger watched
Well,
the battle.
now we can have that little
White
talk
stallion
later,
was
after
nimble and
all.
courageous, but his strength
I'll get
began
up
to
to the next
wane. The
platform.
buffalo
Give
charged
Chris
again
my
and again.
congratulations.
The splendid muscles of the white horse were slower
Well,
in
I did it.
responding,
Thank
then too slow.
Ready for your
he was
swing?
caught by the buffalo's charge.
down there.
Crimson
Ready?
stained
There he
his
goes.
purified
Now get
coat.
set.
Another
Set.
charge.
Marion,
The
wait,
horse saw it
look.
coming, and he couldn't dodge. He staggered and fell. The monster drew
Jesus,
back
he's
and
got
lowered
it.
his head
He
for the
can't
death
hold on.
charge. And then 2 shots rang out. The buffalo shuddered from the impact of the masked man's bullets. For an instant, he stood motionless, then fell.
I'll be back in a moment to continue our story. The greatest show on earth unfolds a drama packed with
Cruelly
thrills and
battered and
excitement.
bruised, the white stallion lay
But on a
quietly
trapeze
as the Lone
platform
Ranger
70
bathed his
feet above the
wounds.
sawdust ring,
During the next several days, the
private
masked
drama
man and
went
the
on.
Indian cared for the injured
Result?
horse. Then the
A
wounds
man
were
is
closed, and the horse's strength had returned. There was once more fire in his eye, a spring in his step, and his head was lifted proudly.
Tonto,
He didn't have a
he's
chance.
himself
He
again.
didn't.
Him
Marion,
strong.
Marion.
And a good horse.
I wonder if he'll take a saddle.
Must
try.
not. I like
There,
that,
steady,
my
boy.
child.
Me get rope. Him run away.
No,
I don't
Tonto,
know
wait.
how it
Let
happened.
him go.
Now you
I'd like
listen
to
to
have
me.
that horse more than anything in the
He
world.
was
But he
perhaps for
deserves
the
his freedom.
best.
He fought for it.
He was wicked,
No.
turn
and
to
the
look at
wicked
us.
are punished.
Feel the sun reflect from his
Santos,
white
you
coat.
mustn't say that.
Him look like silver.
Now, Marion, you must
Be
rest.
a name for
Hear
him.
me, you rest.
Silver!
I will not let you be disturbed.
Silver!
You rest
Silver!
now.
Tonto, he's coming back. It's just as if he knew what I said.
Yes?
Silver!
I should like to speak to Mrs. Morris.
Silver,
I
you
will
beauty.
not let her be
Hand me the halter,
disturbed.
Tonto.
Later you come back.
As the mighty stallion felt the halter, he
Now, wait.
trembled as if from a chill.
Wait a minute.
Every
I
instinct
say
told him
you
that he
come
must
later,
flee at
Marion.
once to preserve his freedom. And yet he
My
stood his
sympathy,
ground.
Mrs. Morris.
It wasn't gratitude that kept him there. It was something stronger, some mysterious bond of friendship and
This
understanding.
man is
He
Captain
heard the man's
Drummond,
voice,
Marion.
and he
Yes,
liked it.
he say that
Silver.
you put Paul's gun in his
Silver.
pocket.
Mrs.
We're going
Morris
to be
is quite
partners.
aware of the details.
Captain Drummond,
Use halter.
I can
Now,
explain
Tonto,
that.
the saddle.
I wanted to get
No
rid
horse
of
like
that gun.
that. Take saddle.
I was
Never
afraid
was a
that my
horse like
husband
this.
would.
Now, Silver,
That your
we're going
husband
to
would
work
what,
together.
Mrs. Morris?
The horse was wild and unused to the
That he
ways
would
of men and the
kill
weight of a
Chris
saddle and a
Adams.
rider. But the masked man was a
Captain
kind
Drummond.
teacher. He was gentle
Paul
yet
was
firm,
jealous. He
and
was
Silver was
insanely
intelligent.
jealous.
The stallion seemed
there
to
was
sense
no
the
reason
desires of
for
the
it. You
Lone
must
Ranger
believe me.
and did his best to cooperate.
I
He
had to
learned
get rid of that
quickly,
gun
and
before
after
something
several
terrible
days of
happened.
training,
Marion
he was
tells
Follow me,
truth.
Tonto.
I know.
I'm going
Yes,
after Cavendish.
Yes, it is. It is the truth. Captain Drummond, it is. You must believe it.
You
No
leave
hoofs had ever
Marion
beat the
alone.
flames like those
She has
thundering hoofs of the great horse
tragedy
Silver.
when her
During
husband
the
died in
past few
accident.
days, Cavendish had gotten
Paul
far away,
Morris's
but the
death
masked man and
wasn't
Tonto
an accident.
trailed him relentlessly with only a minimum of rest. It took days to cut down the outlaw's lead,
Both
but
ropes
at long last,
supporting his
Cavendish
knees
came into
had been
view.
filed down to give way on the heavy strain.
The mighty stallion responded with a new burst of speed.
I say,
Cavendish
Paul
fired
Morris
wild
was the
shots over his
victim of a
shoulder
planned,
until his gun was empty.
deliberate
His horse, though powerful and fast, was no match for the charging Silver. Fear and panic filled the outlaw's face. He heard the hoofbeats ever nearer, and then the masked man shout,
I want you, Cavendish!
Over here, Denny. Over here.
The masked man's avowed mission was accomplished. The last of the Cavendish gang was captured to be tried by law and punished for his crimes.
No luck on
There were
it.
many others whose
been
criminal
spotting his
plans were to be
dressing wagon over there
challenged by
for
the Lone
hostile.
Ranger, his
He hasn't
faithful
shown up.
Indian companion Tonto,
Denny,
and
it's
his
about
great
time we had
horse
a look into
Silver.
that tent. Come on, we're through waiting.
Well, in the vernacular, sir, Adam has taken it on the leg of mutton.
On the land, Denny.
Well, whatever it is, sir, he's gone. There's no doubt in my mind that he's the murderer. He's the one who filed those trapeze ropes.
That's a valid possibility.
Possibility? It's a certainty, sir. The motive is well established. He hated Paul Morris.
So did Santos. And don't forget that Santos was in charge of packing and setting up the axe equipment. As a matter of fact, Denny, Mrs. Morris doesn't escape my suspicion either.
But neither Santos nor Mrs. Morris ran away. That much is in their favor.
Yes, that and nothing more. All right, come on in. We'll see what this dressing room has to offer. Pull on that light over there.
I say, sir, what if Adam should return and find us here?
But, Denny, you're the one who's convinced he's flown the coop.
Yes, but, you know, sir, just in case.
Then his presence will be most welcome. In the meantime, let's have a look around. See what you can find in that trunk over there. I'll look into this one.
Yes, sir. Nothing in here, sir. Nothing but his circus attire.
There's a valise over there near the dressing table. Check on that. Well,
What is it, sir?
come here, Denny. Look at this.
Captain Drummond.
Is this what the well-equipped aerialist carries about?
A carpenter's file. Well-equipped murderer is more like it. I told you all along, sir. Adams is the murderer. There's Exhibit A.
So it seems.
Don't move. You're both covered.
Why, sir, it's
I
that...
said don't move.
It's the circus attendant who pursued Mrs. Morris through the crowd this evening.
So it is. You know, Denny, we've quite forgotten to take this gentleman into consideration.
All right, cut the jabber, you two. What are you doing here?
We might ask you the same question.
Yeah, you might. Only me and this shooter asking the questions. Hey, what's that you got in your hands?
As if the gentleman didn't know, Denny.
Cut the act. What is it?
A carpenter's file.
And a murder weapon.
Murder weapon?
The gentleman appears genuinely surprised.
Come on, give.
If you insist, this file was evidently used in bringing about the death of Paul Morris this evening.
And you found it here in Adam's tent?
That's the general idea.
Hey, what are you two doing mixed up in this business?
The name is Drummond. I specialize in this type of business.
Your name's what?
Captain Drummond. And I'm Denny.
Well, why didn't you say so?
You didn't ask. Does it make any difference?
Oh, it doesn't make any difference. I'm tailing this guy Adams myself for the Acme Insurance Company. Name's Al Monahan.
You're a detective.
Yeah. This guy Adams had a trapeze act with a dame in another show last year. The dame's a nice kid named Evelyn Roberts. So one night Evelyn takes a 60-foot dive and she's out of this world. To the cops, everything looks legit. And Adams collects the insurance on the act. But Acme don't like the way the case smells, so they retain me to Bloodhound Adams, which I do. So Adams ties up with the Morrises
I told you, sir, Adams was the killer.
Go on, Monahan.
So he ties up with the Morrises. The way I see it, he makes a play for the dame, which ain't hard on account of she ain't so hot for a ball and chain anyway. So Adams is in solid. Morris takes a nosedive thanks to Adams. The dame knows from nothing, and Adams works her for a grab of the insurance dough.
Well, aren't you going to tell Mrs. Morris?
You crazy. The dame's in love with the guy. She might even give him the tip-off. No, I just sit and wait for Adams.
I say, imagine that, sir. He expects to capture a killer just by sitting and waiting.
Sure, it's easy. I keep an open eye on the dame. Now she's the cheese in my trap. Adams is hungry for that insurance dough, and when she gets it, the rat comes out of his hole for the nibble, and Monahan's got him.
Take the car around back to the garage, Danny. I'll go up to the apartment a while.
Yes, sir.
Captain Drummond.
Adams.
I thought you'd never get here. I've been waiting outside your house for hours.
And I've been looking for you.
I know it, but it had to be this way. I've got to talk to you.
All right, you can talk to me down at police headquarters.
No, you don't understand. You've got to help me.
The way you helped Paul Morris?
Believe me, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, yes, it was an accident. Like Evelyn Roberts' death.
Evelyn?
I know all about it.
Evelyn's death was an accident. I was completely exonerated.
It won't be that simple this time. Now you're up against an open and shut case of murder.
But I don't...
With evidence complete, down to the murder weapon. The carpenter's file found in your trunk.
But that's impossible. Don't you see? That murder wasn't planned for Paul Morris.
What?
Paul made me switch parts with him tonight. He was doing my routine. I perform on the upper trapeze. That murder was planned for me.
Now, Adams, you understand what you're supposed to do?
Yes. I'm to walk in as if I knew nothing. I'm to play for time.
Right. And play it to the hilt.
Thank you, sir. I don't understand all this, letting Mr. Adams walk into a trap, probably to certain death.
He'll be protected.
May I ask how?
You'll see, Denny.
Oh, really, sir? It's as if you didn't trust me.
Why, Denny.
Well, it's true. And that telegram you received this morning, you were secretive about that, too.
Denny, you'll learn everything in due time, if things work out to my expectations.
Please, sir, do you mind giving Mr. Adams and me just a slight idea of what you expect to happen?
I'm borrowing from the detective Monahan.
But it's obvious now that Monahan's conclusions were wrong.
Oh, it's not his conclusions. It's his method of trapping the killer that appeals to me. I think it'll work out. At any rate, we'll soon find out. Here's Marion Morris's dressing wagon. Adams, you go first.
All right.
Yes, come in. Chris!
Hello, Marion.
Chris, where have you been? Oh, Captain Drummond.
We came along. I've some news for you.
You found my husband's murderer. I knew Chris didn't do it. I knew it.
Where is Santos?
Oh, no, it isn't Santos. He wouldn't...
I suggest that you answer Captain Drummond's question. Where is he?
Why, he's packing our equipment away.
Shall I get him, sir?
In a moment,
Oh,
Denny.
Santos didn't do it. Please believe me, he wouldn't.
Then perhaps you, Mrs. Morris.
Me? Kill my husband?
There, sir, we've got her dead to rights. She's lying.
Marion, you knew that I was to use the upper trapeze.
That your husband switched routines at the last minute.
Switched routines?
Yes, and you knew it. Stop acting, Mrs. Morris.
Paul switched routines with Chris. Yes. Yes, that's right. Paul did switch routines with Chris.
Marion, you wanted to kill me.
No, Chris, no,
Why, Captain Drummond, what was that?
My expectations. Come on, Denny. You two wait here.
Captain Drummond, I have him.
Why, sir, it's Santos. And Monahan.
Good work, Santos.
Drummond, I should have knocked you off last night.
Why, then, sir, it was Monahan all the time.
He tried to kill like you say, Captain Drummond. I stop him in time. I grab gun, the shot, it go into the air.
You can let him go now, Santos. I have him covered.
But, sir, whom was he shooting at?
Chris Adams.
Yeah, and I would have gotten him if you...
By the way, Monahan, your sleuth act went well. I believed you up to a point.
Then he isn't a private detective after all?
No, Denny. That telegram I received this morning, the one about which you were so curious, came from the Acme Insurance Company in answer to an inquiry of mine. They had no detective trailing Adams, not even one named Monahan.
Well, then who is he?
Roberts. That's who I am, Al Roberts.
Roberts? Evelyn Roberts.
Chris Adams' former partner, the one who fell to her death.
The one they murdered, my sister. They lied. The cops, all of them, they lied. He murdered her. I'll get him yet.
As usual, sir, I'm surprised at the outcome. How did you know that Monahan, or rather Roberts, was the killer?
I didn't. I was just curious as to where he fitted in this case.
But what prompted you to check on him in the first place?
Just a hunch, Denny. And also his philosophy of sitting and waiting for a killer.
What do you mean, sir?
A good detective just doesn't sit and wait for things to happen.
Oh, on the contrary, sir, I consider you the finest of detectives.
Thank you, Denny.
And I was about to suggest, after we deliver Roberts here to the police, that you join me in some sitting and waiting.
Denny, what are you talking about?
The big top over there, sir. I suggest that we sit down peacefully in the stands in the big top and quietly wait for the circus to begin.
I'll be back in a moment to tell you about next week's story. A mysterious phone call arouses my curiosity. And so Denny and I are off on a strange story that begins with a stabbing and ends in murder. I call this story The Deadly Stand-In. Be sure to listen, won't you?